Hi everybody, welcome. So this work is so much about improvising. You don't quite have what you need, but you make it work. And luckily, I see some candles starting to light, but if not, we have a lot. We have a lot behind me. There will be, at some point, we will have some cider warmed up and some hot chocolate. I think that's coming together. And I think we'll start because it's kind of cool. And we don't know how long we don't want to keep you too late. So I just want to welcome everybody. This is the 24th annual Candlelight Vigil in Rutland. And it is really cool. With all our quirks and our flaws and our figuring out as we go along, it's awesome you're here, and I really appreciate that so much. I appreciate you just taking a few minutes to remember people in our community who have struggled or still struggle to find the sense of home many of us take for granted. Our vision is to eliminate hopelessness and homelessness within our community. In the past 4 years, we've helped rehouse 550 homeless Vermonters. We continue to work with many others who still struggle with homelessness in the course of a year. And the work of our many partners brings us face to face with events both joyful and somber. Many of us here know someone who lost their life before they could find a place to call home. This year we have also lost clients to illness and accidents. People who had known homelessness but were housed, people with whom we had worked for years, witnessed both challenges and growth. Our thoughts go to people facing this longest night of the year, outdoors, and those that did not make it through this year. I ask you to join in a moment of silence to honor and remember them. Let us also recognize the resilience of the many people who prove that homelessness is not a permanent condition. We asked some of the clients we worked with to share a few words from their personal experience, what it was like when they were homeless, and what home meant to them now. They weren't all ready to speak to a big group, so their answers will be read by members of the Homeless Prevention Center. If I could have the readers come forward. So these first responses that can be read by Sarah, and they're to the question, what's something you want people to know about what it's like to be homeless?
It's not easy being homeless. It's hard and people judge you all the time before knowing your story. People think everyone who's homeless is a junkie. The struggle, my friend. Being homeless is like not being able to go where you want to and have freedom to do things you like or enjoy, doing the things you like doing. You can't feel free. You feel like you're trapped. It is also like having to constantly worry if you're going to have a warm place to sleep or a cold place to sleep. When you are respectful and nice, the people in the hotel treat you with respect. When you find a person who helps you go through the homeless life, it helps to make it easier. My top goal is to have a steady income in a household for my family, and be able to be the best father and role model for my kids. I'm most looking forward to being able to have peace with my family, going out and being a family, being able to see my family every day and every night, making a ton of new memories with my kids, and finally seeing my spouse full of happiness and joy.
This next question was, how did you get through the experience?
You just live. I also put in the work. How I got through the experience was I kept telling myself I had to for my child and for me. It wasn't easy, but I pushed through it despite my disabilities and with the support of friends who are also known as family. I don't know if I would have made it without the support I have. Finding space alone, being a family together. And it's hard work, but doable. You need to put in the effort.
This next question was, what does having a home mean to you?
Can you hear me? Okay. Sorry. Everything. Having a home means I have a place where I can be at peace and feel safe, be myself, and have the freedom to come and go as I please, and not have to worry about if my stuff is going to get stolen or taken from me. I can come back to my own home. I am thankful. Everything and being a family. I get to go back to school. It takes the stress off my shoulders. Having our own apartment has been wonderful. We finally are able to be a family. To not feel like we are interfering in someone else's space.
Borrow that for 1 second. This last question is, what helped you get where you are now?
The support of friends who are family, and the support of homeless prevention and all the other supports around here that can also help. As long as you have a good support system, you will succeed in what you have to do. Hope and faith. I prayed for a place. My counseling helped me stay in the right state of mind. The support from family, friends, workers, and myself to keep going. Push for your goals. When you truly desire something in life, take never-ending steps to fulfill it, and to have people who listen to you.
Thank you all. That's beautiful. Thank you. Well, thank you. Thank you for enduring the evolving technical items here, and I just want us maybe to think about one other thing as we go into the year, which is when I first started going to homeless vigils 20 years ago, we had to convince people in Vermont that there was a homeless problem. I remember standing out on a little gazebo up in Middlebury during holiday shopping and holding these little signs, and I was sort of tentatively flashing them at shoppers because we didn't want to dampen anybody's holiday spirit, but we were trying really hard to convince Vermonters that there was a problem of homelessness in Vermont, and that there were a lot of their neighbors who didn't have a place to go, and a whole lot of other Vermonters just sort of hanging by a thread in terms of how much it costs to live here. And we don't have that challenge now, unfortunately. We don't have to convince Vermonters that we have a huge homelessness problem. The numbers have gone up nationally, they've gone up in Vermont, and they've gone up in our county. And I think our challenge as we go into this, we're still right in the middle of it, but I think our challenge for this next year is not to convince people that there's a problem with homelessness, but perhaps to not let them lose sight of the individuals involved in that huge forest of numbers and data in different states comparing their rates and their trends. It's just, and I actually draw a lot from the individual people that we get to meet. I'll share one little last story. Around that same time that I first started going to homeless vigils, there was a gentleman struggling with alcohol, and he'd been homeless a long time, and we didn't really know what his plan was going to be. A week ago, I ran into him, and he's housed. He's in permanent supportive housing in Rutland. He was sharing a meal with some people. We both remembered each other's names. I was so glad to see that he's still alive. I was so glad to see that he has a great place to live in our community, and that somebody didn't say, I'm not comfortable renting to this person, but somebody said, yep, we're going to make it work. So I thank you again so much. Your patience is awesome. I hope you will come back next year and not be turned off by all of our technical challenges. Thank you so much. And please help yourself to some cider donated from the co-op, some hot chocolate, and even some cookies, I think. Thank you.
Okay, we are at Depot Park in downtown Rutland, and this is the 24th annual Homelessness Awareness Night, which happens to be on the shortest day of the year. Angus Cheney is with us. Angus is with the organization that put on this event tonight. And Angus, very nice job. Got a beautiful backdrop here with the Rutland City Christmas tree in the background. As I mentioned, this is the 24th annual event. Now, you've been a part of this for how long?
Just about 6 years, I think, here in Rutland. But I've been at vigils, homeless vigils in other Vermont towns going back to about 2001 or so.
Okay, and you were talking in one of your presentations here earlier tonight about what a problem that is and how there is awareness more so now than there was years ago for the homeless situation here, not only in the United States, state of Vermont in particular.
Yeah, the challenge has really changed. I remember when I used to meet people from New York City or Washington, D.C., they almost didn't believe me that Rutland and Vermont had a problem with homelessness. And now I think last year Vermont had the second highest rate of homelessness in the country after California.
Wow, that's an amazing figure. What is your organization? Where are you based out of? Actually, is there a facility here in the city or in the state?
We're on House Street. We're in one of the historic buildings there down on House Street, and it's a lot of case managers and people who work with people at every point along the continuum from instability to stable housing.
Do you have like an outreach? Are you actively out looking for people that are homeless? People come to you, or you get referrals? How does it work exactly?
It's really a shared role in Rutland. We have people who do outreach at Homeless Prevention Center. We also have other partners connected to Rutland Mental Health, connected to the health clinic, and we try to keep an eye on anybody who's out there. But we do, our focus is really housing. We're not a shelter in the conventional sense. So we're really working to try to bridge this gap between the housing that's there and where people are when they encounter us.
And homelessness is obviously a very complicated situation. There's many different parts to that. So your organization is equipped to work with all those parts, I would guess.
Yeah, we really, I think what's changed in homeless services in the last 20 years is it used to be there was one solution and everybody got that whether it worked or not. And what's changed in the last 15, 20 years is when we first meet somebody to really listen to what they're saying about the barriers that they have to housing, what their experience has been, and not everybody needs the same solution. So some people might just need, it's just a financial one-time setback, and they might need some money, and we have funds for that sort of thing. And then other people are going to need something more supportive, more ongoing services. And that was one thing that came up this evening was when we work long-term with people, it's so that they don't cycle back into homelessness. And you really get to know people when you've been with them through their toughest times, and then you see them thrive.
Well, it could be, maybe a job loss or some situation like that put you in this situation. But quite often, there's a lot more involved in some situation than just that alone.
It's so many factors. I think it's why homelessness is one of the hardest challenges to wrestle down, is because it's really symptomatic of challenges in other systems of care, in our housing market, sometimes it's our labor market, and sometimes it's healthcare. So there's all sorts of reasons why somebody can lose their home, lose that stability, and we just need to understand what it was in their circumstance, and then try to tailor a solution with them.
It's kind of fitting that you do it on, what would be the shortest day of the year. It's probably one of the coldest nights of the year, that as we stand out here right now. And it does definitely make you think, and I'm sure a lot of people that were down here holding candles tonight thinking, how would that be to be homeless, be out on the street, no place to call home on a night like tonight in particular when it's so cold out?
Yeah, one of my two favorite parts of Vigil, one is hearing my friends sing, and the other one is maybe the silence, just that moment of silence, because as you know, we had some technical issues tonight, but you don't need the working mics to do a moment of silence, and that gives me time to think about why we're doing the work and not just how, but we can all get very lost in the technical details of our work. That moment of silence that we do at this Vigil is very deep for me. I don't know how it is for other people, but it really brings me back to what draws people to this work and this challenging mission, because we have lost people that we knew over the years, and we know from people who get through it how hard it is and how lonely homelessness can be and how much stigma there is, and yeah.
You mentioned the word stigma. You brought that up in your earlier speech. A lot of people just want to turn the other cheek to this and run the other way from it. And so this awareness night is really a big thing. It's that's half your battle.
Yeah. I think the cruelest thing about any kind of stigma is that it has the potential to alienate people from their community at the very time that they need that community the most. And I think homelessness can fall into that it's pretty, it doesn't take long of losing sort of your, the decency that goes with a home before people start to assume things about you that might or might not be true.
Okay, well, I don't want to keep you much longer. I want to thank you very much. You did a wonderful job putting this on tonight. Very nice presentation. For anybody out there watching that would like more information, or maybe anybody out there needs some help from your organization, how do they do that?
Sure. If you're interested in finding information about homelessness, our organization, or homelessness in Rutland County, I'd say our website is helpful, and that's www.hpcvt.org. And if you're someone who's struggling with housing crisis and you want to connect with our organization and learn about what we have, I would say the best thing is to give us a call during business hours, 802-775-9286.
Okay, Angus Cheney, thank you very much. Great job again here tonight. Thank you for coming on PEG TV with us and creating some awareness here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Have a good evening.